Alright, I'm going to summarize all of Lostbelt 6, one part at a time. I'm going to be going by memory until Chapter 21, where I have many extensive notes for that, so wish me luck on the memory parts. We should be fine, though. Let's jump into the prologue and see what gets us going into Lostbelt 6 in the first place. So, starting us off, we've got some creepy guy in a cloak. A certain magician here. He's just here to tell us that he wants to tell us a fantastical little story. A story about a fairy kingdom and a prophecy about several different clans and about trying to make the prophetic journey come true. The ringing of the altar bells, the seat of the throne being taken by the true king, etc., etc., etc. He says, so, how about it? Sounds like a pretty interesting story, huh? So, as we can tell, this entire Lostbelt 6, definitely nothing but a dream. As Merlin puts it, nothing more than a Midsummer Night's Dream. And we wake up from it. Alright, obviously we've got ourselves a problem going on, so we head off to the command room, and Foe is being weirdly quiet for some reason. Doesn't want to come with us. Alright. So, we make our way into the command room with everyone. Obviously, everyone is questioning what's going on and asking Shion for the straight skinny. Let's speed up a little bit. Yes, she told us that at this rate, within 24 hours of time, our entire world is going to collapse. Gordolf's like, wait, what? So, it turns out that Sheba's lens has observed that there is a phenomenon happening in Lostbelt 6 Britain that is going to cause a complete collapse not only of Britain's Lostbelt, but of our world itself following that. She says basically that this is something that certainly couldn't have been predicted by the foreign god that has arrived here and is trying to take over the world, because if this collapse is to happen, then it's game over for everyone here, including her. Originally, we were going to just leave Lostbelt 6 alone because the tree was already destroyed and it was going to end itself as time went on. But because of this newly detected collapse, we can't just leave it be. We're going to have to suit up, head to the storm border, and make our way to England as fast as we possibly can, because we don't have a lot of time. Essentially, think of it as the world is going to get sucked up into a black hole and or implode up upon itself if we don't deal with this. So, our mission parameters for going into Lostbelt 6 is chiefly to stop that from happening. However, that's not it. There's another reason for us to head to Lostbelt 6. Because Lostbelt 6 was able to fire in inter-world, maybe interdimensional attack onto Lostbelt 5 Olympus via Rongominiad. We're also going there to try and get our hands onto a divine weapon so that we have some sort of way to fight back against the foreign god. So, it's a twofold mission. Objective 1, stop the world from ending. Objective 2, get a big cannon. Alright, lots of technical talk. Lots of technical talk about how we're heading towards the southern end of the British Isles. And we're going to use the storm border to pierce our way directly into the storm wall that is surrounding the Lostbelt. Once more, Holmes going over the mission parameters to try and make contact with the Lostbelt King and negotiate for the Rongominiad. We have no reason to attack the Lostbelt. And while we're there, see what Beryl Gutt is up to if he happens to be there. And, you know, kill him because nobody likes Beryl. Nobody likes Beryl. Alright, speed up time. Any important story stuff you missed? Nope, we just started. This is just the prologue of why we're going in. The world is going to collapse if we don't figure out what the hell is going on in Lostbelt 6. We're going to try and get Rongominiad in our hands so that we have a way to fight the alien goddess, and also punch Beryl in the face because fuck Beryl. All 3 mission objectives I can agree with. All right, Captain, take us in. And after a bunch of technobabble talk, we enter Lostbelt 6, Avalon Le Fay. All right, let's move on to story part 1. The beginning. Muddy Muddy. All right, so this is our opening here. Honestly, I should have just translated all this before I came in, but very simply, this is an opening mural to tell us that the fairies shall never be forgotten. What they have done shall not be forgotten here in England, no matter how much time has passed. All right, we've woken up on the storm border, and as you can see, things did not go well. Upon piercing our way through the storm wall, the storm border itself has lost all power. On top of that, the servants, Nemo and Holmes specifically, are feeling completely out of sorts and weakened greatly. However, Da Vinci and Mash both seem to be doing fine. Holmes theorizes that is because proper human history servants are being rejected in this reality, but Da Vinci and Mash are able to basically pull a loophole because they're both technically homunculi. So despite being heroic spirits, they're not full heroic spirits, and thus it's not affecting them nearly as strongly. Basically, this is our way of saying we're not going to be able to bring the storm border or the shadow border with us. Holmes is going to have to stay back, so he's not going to be able to detective his way through everything. And Nemo's not going to be able to help us with anything that might come to help from having a ship's captain, like, I don't know, crossing a river or something. Da Vinci, though, says that she is willing to come with us and even wants to come with us. After all, she never gets to go on journeys with us. And because we only have an operational time limit of about 50 days before the storm border completely runs out of energy, even its reserve powers, Gordolf is going to agree to allow Da Vinci to go as well, because it would behoove us to have another powerful servant with us to get things done quickly. Look, they're even going to be like, what? Da Vinci? What do you mean you're going to go? But honestly, this is just the best idea. Look, see, he's now going to give up and be like, of course it is a good idea to have her there, it would help the most, and on top of that, Da Vinci has created a mechanical familiar to allow her to give messages from our away team back to the base. So everything about it basically says Da Vinci is the best possible thing we could bring with us. Therefore, shut up, Gordolf, we're going. Alright, Da Vinci's excited to be joining us on the journey because Lolly Vinci hasn't joined us on any journey. The only time Da Vinci joined us was when it was Big Vinci in well, not Camelot, but the Middle East would be more accurate. Anyway, Singularity 6. All right, Let's set off on our journey. It's about 200 kilometers to the nearest place that we can find a town in Britain. Also, hi Tristan, where'd you come from? So Da Vinci's like, I can't believe it. I thought we couldn't summon proper human history's heroic spirits. Where the hell did you come from, Tristan? And he's like, certainly, I just kind of answered a summoning and showed up here. So he just kind of shows up out of nowhere. Well done, Tristan. We will accept the help. Again, who's summoning? Who knows? That's spoilers for later in the story. Obviously, our summoning. After all, who else is going to ask Tristan to come with us? Alright, so we've just been plodding along for an hour. And we're getting lost. Tristan says we're not lost. Definitely not lost. Certainly we might have walked around and I might have seen things that look familiar, but we're definitely not lost. Okay, yeah, Tristan's bad at directions. So, a bunch of fog just rolls in. A bunch of magical fog rolls in. Along with some enemies. Specifically, some black, mysterious creatures. These are the Moors, or the Moss, however we... The Moss, but M-O-R-S. Pronounced Moss, but M-O-R-S. Yes, I know. English is weird. Specifically, England English is weird. Alright, so we beat them off. But, as we are getting more and more lost in the fog... Yep, we're rapid fire going through the replay in my room. We start to lose track of each other. And on top of that, Tristan seems to be forgetting that there was even any companions with us in the first place. And he even forgets his own name. Wait, red-haired guy. Red-haired... What was that? No, it felt like... Anyway, who am I? Well, the greatest plot point of all, amnesia happens. Don't worry about this guy, totally not important at all. Just came over to tell us, remember not to let anyone know you're not a fairy. And basically, gonna tell us, hey, good luck. Monsieur! Monsieur! Thank goodness you woke up. Alright, so, I know anyone that's heard anything about Lostbelt 6 was hearing about how we're going to get a nice upgrade to MASH. Well, hey, look at that! We found Mashu! What a good upgrade we just got. This is about the best upgrade you could ask for MASH. Nice. I can't believe they found such a good way to upgrade MASH. Alright, so we're now Hermia. That's our new name. She is now MASH. That's her new name. She says that we were found wandering... or collapsed after wandering through the nameless forest. and basically is going to explain to us the basics of how it works. And the Nameless Forest works as follows. If you wander through the fog for too long, you eventually begin to forget anything that is important to you. Your name, your identity, what your purpose in life was, all that kind of stuff. And we can't remember this guy's name either. But even though he doesn't know exactly who we are, he feels like we are his master and he is to protect us. And that's right. His name is Tristram. Okay, that's right. So, we are now Hermia, journeying with Mash and Tristram. Thank goodness that they were here to get our heads straight. Perfect. High five! Alright, so we really can't remember anything. Anything at all. Anytime that upgraded Mash here asks us any question about anything that happened prior to this, we've got absolutely no clue what happened. Oh, whoops, kind of skipped by her showing up. But don't worry, we'll have plenty of time to talk to her. We are greeted by a fairy. Look at that pretty fairy. She is here to check up on us, as she has been sent to make sure that we aren't dead after collapsing and everything like that. She asked if she fulfilled her duty to them and was useful, and Mash says, yes, you were, and she's very, very happy that we have confirmed that she did her duty. So she's going to gather us to the town square and show us off to everyone. There she goes. Alright, we have been brought into the town square, where there are many fairies. Fairies of all kinds. You got your beastmen, and your elfmen, and your dwarfmen. Pretty much exactly what you would expect of British fairies, in appearance and whatnot. So, they're asking us why we came to this town. They're asking us what our purpose in life is, what our objective in life is. They're asking us if we remember anything whatsoever from before we came here. And we say no. And they're like, then that would make you guys our allies. Hey everyone, we found some new friends. Yay, hi-ho! And they decide to throw a festival in our honor for new friends coming. So, essentially, this village is for anyone who wanted to run away from the Queen's rule and escape through the Nameless Forest, because even the Queen won't go through there. This is a gathering of rejects, defects, losers, anyone that was cast off from their towns, that kind of stuff. And because we're basically a group of losers that lost their names, identities, and everything else, we're welcomed with open arms. Yay! Alright, we're gonna speed up a little bit faster. Alright, this little fairy here is being told to make sure to take care of cleanup after everyone is done with the festival, as it is getting late, and it's her duty for that. And speed up a little bit more. We're taking a little long. I love that face. Alright, so, this is just Mash there telling us a little bit about Fairyland, the Fairy Kingdom itself. And Tristram here says that he was terrified the entire time that we were there at that festival, despite it being such a joyous place. Basically, he's going to tell us that the feeling he gets from the fairies is one of abject terror, like a chill running down his spine. And he feels as though each and every one of those fairies has the power to easily take down any number of soldiers that would come at them. Basically, he just got a real bad feeling about this. All right. Good night, Mash. It's morning. She was told to come wake us up and get us ready to go meet with the people in the town. Anyway, this is Cornwall, which has been around for 200 years, blah, 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 continuing, blah, 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 blah. Also, one thing to point out about this fairy that's very important is that if you pay attention, you can see there's a bunch of holes and tears in her wings. All right, so, there are some forest beasts coming at the edge of the town, so we're going to go figure out what our battle power is, because we're theorizing that we were on some sort of quest, possibly for a noble or a queen, considering I have a bodyguard and Mash can cast magic. That must mean we were doing something like that. While we couldn't do anything, we do find out that Tristram and Mash are both pretty darn strong. Our only ability was to shout commands from the back and you know, high-five them after a good attack. Tristram gives us words of encouragement saying, "No, with you at my back, I felt stronger than I could without you. On top of that, your orders were top-notch." All right, we get another festival tonight to celebrate more all of us new friends becoming friends. And so we stuff ourselves because delicious food, yummy. Eh? All right. It's nighttime, everyone's going back to their huts and their houses to get to bed because they say if you stay out for too late, then the forest beasts will come after you. And here we can hear voices from outside, someone yelling at someone else to clean up this mess. It's your job. And a female voice going, I'm sorry, I'll do my best. Wait, that voice just now, was that? And she tells us, no, just return to your tent already, Hermia, don't get involved with this. If you make yourself into a problem, then they might just kick you out of here. And it's especially bad because you don't even know who you are. So she tells us to just leave well enough alone. Yup, okay, let's return. Yes, I'm glad you understand. Wait, you don't understand at all, do you? Later, bitch. I'm gonna go save the fairy waifu. So, basically, there was the sound of... the sounds of someone being bullied, but by the time we got there, there was nothing there. So we went to go help them, and Mash there is happy to know that we're a good person like that, but it was a dumb move to make. But still, she's happy. Alright, once more, we see that there's the poor little fairy getting bullied. Big bullies. Basically, they said she didn't clean up everything overnight. What the hell's wrong with her? She's just some worthless bitch, isn't she? She said, "I'm sorry, please forgive me," and they said, "Well, whatever, get out of here." And she thanked them for being so nice. Alright, so we want to go help out the poor fairy because we were just told she lives outside of the town. And because she lives outside of the town, that means that she's outside of the protective bubble that's around this town, and the forest beasts can get to her a lot more easily. So we're going to take Mash's hand. And hurry up, because we hear the sounds of beasts going out to attack someone. Alright, we take care of those beasts nice and quick. Easy peasy. It took a snap of the fingers. Bam. And we ask if she's okay, because she was being attacked by a wolf. And we find out that she is a fairy without a name, because just like us, she went through the nameless forest and lost her own name. On top of that, because she has lost her name and her purpose, she is being extra bullied by the village people because they say that a fairy without a purpose is terrible luck and will only bring ruin. But we came here to help her, so we're going to clear out some of the beasts around here, and Mash is going to cast a protective circle of magic around her house so that she won't be attacked by any wild beasts anymore. She says, "Well, I'm not much more than a half-baked magician, so this won't last too long, but this should at least give you a couple of weeks so that you can get a good night's rest." And she says, "Magic, that's the power of the queen." And she thanks Mash-san for all the help, and for being so kind to someone like her. In a world where everyone else is being cruel to her because she lost her name and because she lost her purpose, for Mash to go out of her way to protect someone as useless and worthless as her, someone with no value, is a very kind gesture. And so they hang out for a while the spell is being cast. And we have given the nameless fairy a friend. But suddenly, one of her eyes begins to dissipate. It's morning time. All right. It's morning. They didn't have a festival yesterday, so hey, you got anything to eat? Huh? You want to eat something? Haha, what a good joke. It's not like you're a human or anything. You don't need to eat or anything. Quit playing around. Wait, you couldn't really be... With what you said, does that mean... Oh, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Uh-oh. Everyone, there's a human. Hermia is a human. There's a human in the village. So, hey, remember when mysterious fog person told us not to let fairies know we're a human? Oops. So, he says things are about to get far, far more fun with this going on. Everyone begins inching closer and closer to us. And they're asking, hey, are you a human too? Are you also a human? You don't got any wings or anything. So they figured out Mash might be a human too. And even Tristram. We're all filthy humans. Or do we? So they have now locked us away into this tent and are keeping guards outside of it to make sure that we can't leave. Neither do any of you. Some of them are hiding their wings. And as for the ones without wings, they're like dwarves or beastmen for the most part. Or an elf at least, and have the pointy ears. But we've got none of that. They believed that we were just wingless fairies that might have had our wings ripped off or something while we were posing. And while we're out here and it becomes night, it's a human. A human. There's a human in the village. And the Queen's the Queen's army can't make their way here, so they can't take this away from us. We finally have a human. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. We're going to treat it preciously. We're going to protect it. We'll give it lots to eat. We'll make sure to feed it and keep it happy and healthy. We'll protect it, and we'll get it meat from the forest, and we'll feed it and all that stuff, right? Like we're a pet. Well, this isn't too bad. We're gonna laugh together, we'll cry together, we'll rip its insides out and rip its arms off, because there's just not enough for the few of us here. That's right, so we have to rip them apart, piece by piece. That way we can share it with everyone. Soda, soda! That's right. I call the neck. You can get the stomach. So he comes to tell them, hey, what are you guys doing out here? It's not your turn to be on watch or anything. Go back to bed. You can go play with Hermia-san all you want tomorrow. God damn, Doga. You really were annoying. Just shut up already. That's right. There's only 2 of them, so there's not enough. There's only 2 of them, so there's not enough. So we'll rip them apart and give a piece to everyone. But the first piece goes to me. I want the first piece. Those damn Earth and Wind Clan members are annoying, so we'll kill them so they can't have any pieces. The sounds of battle. Yeah, so, the fairies went a little insane, learning that there's humans here. Luckily, Chirno comes to try and help us. Alright, so, hey, Dwarf Man, Earth Clan member, says they killed off all those wind bastards. Now they just have to deal with those fang bastards, aka the Beastmen. They killed the elves, the Beastmen are all that's left. So, the fairy girl here is trying to help us out of here because they've all gone blood drunk, and it won't be long before they try to come in here to take us. And Tristram, being the genius that he is, strums his harp as he says, "I'm so sad things have turned into this." And they hear the sound. Good job. Alright, we run. We run and we finally escape. Thanks to the help of the young fairy girl, we were able to get out of there. Thank goodness. But, we ask her, is she really okay with helping us out? She may not be able to be allowed back into the village. She's asking us not to be so kind to her. It hurts. It hurts. Every single day, every year, I've been alone and in pain. Been told that I'm worthless and all that. So then why? Why would something good happen to me now of all times? Why would you take notice of me now? Why wouldn't you just leave me alone? And she becomes one of the black creatures that we fought on the shore. And she says this is the fate of all of the fairies in this land. That is a moss. When fairies lose their purpose in life, they eventually become the curse of this land and become moss. And we're having trouble striking her down, but from behind comes someone bringing a mercy killing. Look, it's a butterfly. And he introduces himself as the Fairy King Oberon. Pretty cool, huh? Kept you waiting, huh? And hey, we get small flashbacks to what happened right before we went into the forest. I can't believe this is still just section 1. That's right, my name is Gouda, and Tristram's name is... And hey, we remember things. And, not Mash here, better Mash, really, asks if that was Merlin, and then she goes, "No, I'm sorry, I must be mistaken. You just have a similar feel to him." So she reintroduces herself as Castor, Artoria Castor. And now, Oberon's gonna take us just over the hill to show us the true face of Britain. Oh, I read the whole thing, Phoenix. I read all of Lostbelt 6. I know how long it is. Even skipping dialogue does take a while. All right, now we go over to Fragment 1. That's right, the story within the story, because there's not enough story in just the story. We got to put a story in your story so you can enjoy the story. All right, so that's what happened on Guroko's side. But while Guroko was lost in the nameless forest and went to the fairy village, what happened to their servants? All right. Very simply, here's what happened. Mash was picked up by a trio of goblins that are basically slavers. Wog, Rob, and Winky have come to pick her up and sell her. There is a white wolf there, kind of standing at her side as protection. Can't be anything important. Anyway, they trick her because she has no memory into going along with them, saying that they're going to help get her to where she belongs and where she'll be safe, and figure out what her identity is. Really, they're just here to sell her as a slave. Good job. All right, moving on to Section 2. Holy shit, it took so long just to get here. What happened in Section 2? All right, we're looking at the beautiful lands of Fairyland, Britain. It looks beautiful, doesn't it? Yes, of course it does. All right, we tell Oberon that there were 2 more that came with us, but they're not here with us. So he sends off a little moth to go gather some sort of information for us. On top of that, we tell him about the collapse that's going to happen here, about what's happened prior to coming here, our purpose, all that stuff, yada yada. Ow. So, Oberon's making sure that Artoria wants to come with us since she's not a proper human history person like the rest of us. But at the very least, she should join us until we hit the next town. And we're heading to Salisbury. All right, so we're gonna hold her hand and take her with us. We're on the Castoria route now, baby. The fairy's talking about how the prophecy was true, and how their wish will be granted, how they will be saved and forgiven. How the true king will come to the throne. Ah, our beloved Artoria. Please, somehow, live until you are 16 years of age and defeat the queen for us. Ring the six bells of the altars and become Britain's savior. Become the true king on your journey. We have to go to Gloucester, Salisbury, Oxford, Norwich, Orkney. 6 bells it says, but it only named 5 places. Ah, crazy, huh? Crazy. Ah, and they're saying, hurry, hurry, hurry. Hurry up and become 16 already. So that, because all of us believe in you. Get out of this town and don't come back. I don't want to see your face around here. It's time for your journey to begin, Artoria. No matter what anyone says, there's no question that you are the child of prophecy. Artoria is apologizing. for being too weak, for saying that she'll do her best, talking in her sleep while doing so. So yeah, she's having a bit of a nightmare. Alright, so, he's going to talk about proper human history, Artoria, and how, since this person is named Artoria, she's definitely has to be the counterpart to it. On top of that, if I recall correctly, this is where Oberon is going to tell us that this time around in Britain, we should be going around to save this land rather than destroy it, different from the previous Lostbelts, because we have no reason to destroy it after all. And that the king of this Lostbelt is Queen Morgan. Morgan Le Fay. Ah, yes. We were talking until eventually we get attacked by some night monsters. On top of that, you can even see it in the background. Oberon points out that the Lostbelt tree has completely been destroyed, withered up into nothing but a stump. So, we have no reason to attack this Lostbelt, considering it's not going to try and proliferate itself. Speeding up. We can use magic? Yeah, kinda. We can use, like, strengthening magic on our legs so we can run a long time. That's like all. Alright, most of that conversation was fluff conversation towards the end there. Morning. We're talking about talking to Artoria about the different lands that exist in our world. Aside from just Britain, it's because we got England, Scotland, Ireland, and that's just the areas around here. There's even more, etc., etc. A Midsummer Night's Dream. Yes, he says you can just think of this entire journey as a Midsummer Night's Dream. Yes, Oberon, we get it. We get it. You're from a Shakespeare story. You don't need to say it anymore, buddy. It's like the third time you said it already. Alright, we make our way to Salisbury. Did Lostbelt 6 come out during Midsummer? It sure did. Yes, they even timed the release of it specifically for that. So, this is Salisbury. There's a huge cathedral here. And here's the thing that is weird about there being a huge cathedral here, chat. There ain't no religion here in Fairyland, Britain. No religion at all, so why do they have a cathedral? Well, Oberon goes to explain that here in Fairyland, the fairies are basically just imitating humans and their civilization for fun. So despite this looking like it might be a human-like town, all it is fairies playing pretend. On top of that, he points out that humans in Fairyland Britain are not particularly free. Humans are basically slave commodities here. If you're caught by yourself without some other fairy, you're either going to be captured or killed on the spot. Luckily, with Oberon here looking as regal as he does, we can just pretend that he's guiding us around here. No problem whatsoever. After all, he looks noble. He looks like he'd be rich. And of course, if all else fails, we can just become Artoria's pet. I mean, human. Yes. Oh, looks like we belong to Artoria now. Oh no, what a horrible fate. I guess I'll have to take one for the team. Hey, Oberon's here! Everybody's happy to see Oberon! Hell yeah! Nice to see you, Oberon. Anyway, pay me that money you owe me from the other day. Oh, Oberon, you're showing your face around here. I hope you... I remember the last time you showed up and drank so much. Anyway, pay me that money you owe me. Oberon, it's great to see you again. All the children would love to talk to you again back at the place. Anyway, pay me that money you owe me. So yeah, every single person here says, "Hi Oberon, nice to see you again. We were waiting for you. Anyway, pay me that money you owe me." So, when Artoria said you give a similar feel-off as Merlin, it must be that he's a huge scumbag because he owes everyone money. Everyone. Everyone. Why do they have a concept of money? Because the fairies are playing pretend. They want to mimic human society for funsies. Therefore, they have a concept of money and that kind of stuff. Jobs, all that stuff. Alright, so we're now at a bar in Salisbury, which is near the center area of England. Oberon says that this is a good town to branch out and try and gather some information in, so he's going to try and help us figure out where our two comrades have gone. Also, Artoria just called Tristan an enemy of all women, and that made him kind of die a little on the inside, so poor Tristan. So we get the waitress to take our order, and... Hey! Look at that! No way, the waitress at this bar is Da Vinci? How lucky. So, she woke up here a couple of days ago after coming out of the forest and was able to get a job here working for Mike in his bar. And he says it's been a great help having her here in the shop because she comes up with all these great ideas that he can use. And she even said, "I'd love to work here until I die." And she's like, "I didn't say that. I just said I was happy to work here for a little while." But Mike clearly very much wants Da Vinci to be here forever. He even calls her his angel because he has good taste. Fair enough, Mike. Alright, so, basically, Da Vinci gives us a slight update on what she was doing prior to this and asks us to come talk later in a more private setting. AKA, she's been outfitting the rooms in this place to basically turn it into a home base while she's been here. So, the rooms upstairs are soundproof, and we'll be able to talk a little more privately there when we want to talk about things more important. In the meantime, Oberon's going to head out and try and gather some information and set us up with a meeting with the leader of the town, Aurora. Alright. Back in the rooms, we get down to the nitty-gritty about what's going on here in this fairy world, and about how it differs from the previous Lostbelts, yada yada. And basically she's saying something similar to what Oberon said, that this fairy kingdom of Britain really isn't a threat to proper human history because it no longer even classifies much as a Lostbelt, considering the tree has withered. Then she talks about the legend of King Arthur, of Morgan Le Fay, the background on that stuff, your Arthurian tales, if you know any of that. Very simply, Morgan Le Fay was a fairy that had 3 different personalities at the same time and was considered at sometimes 3 different people. The Lady of the Lake, the enemy of Artoria, and the kindly sister that helped Artoria. On top of that, it goes in to tell about the story about Artoria having to defeat Vortigern, about King Uther's end, about how Morgan was technically the one that gave Excalibur to Artoria in the first place, and about how Morgan wanted to take over Britain, and thus created Mordred and began the uprising of Camelot. It gets really stupid a little bit, yeah. The Arthurian tales get a little silly. The British Lostbelt and Queen Morgan. And we still have no clue where MASH is. We don't know MASH is currently on the Gobbo train. Alright, Tristan heads over to Da Vinci's room and asks for some more details about the 6th singularity since he wasn't there. Alright, moving on to Section 3. Hey, Section 2 only took like 10-15 minutes to summarize. Oh god, this is going to take a long time. This whole summary is going to be like 8 hours long. I hope you're ready, everyone. Strap on. I mean in. I mean on. Alright, Castoria's happy because it's the first time she's been in such a fluffy, comfortable bed before in her life. Also, the shopkeep fairy Mike here calls her Da Vinci instead of Da Vinci. Can't say her name right. Are? So, we noticed that the sky is exactly the same as yesterday's sky. Turns out that there's almost no concept of weather here in the Fairy Kingdom. There's rain in some places once in a while, but overall, pretty much every day is going to look about the same. Alright, we're going around and talking to various fairies here for any sort of information we can get about a girl clad in armor. So we talk to a bunch of people, but we get nothing. We get absolutely no info on MASH at all. No matter who we talked to, they were all talking about the Child of Prophecy this and the Child of Prophecy that. Nothing else. Yeah, that's all they could talk about was Child of Prophecy this, Child of Prophecy that. Really, this Child of Prophecy thing is the only thing on their minds. The Child of Prophecy must be really important and powerful, huh? I know, right? Everyone's putting their dreams on the shoulders of that Child of Prophecy. That must mean that this is some sort of super fairy, right? This Child of Prophecy. Must be the strongest fairy of them all. We should definitely look for their cooperation. While we look for MASH, we should try and find this Child of Prophecy. Must be an incredibly powerful and wise fairy, and beautiful to boot. Hey, look who's back! It's Oberon! He's like, yo, what's up, guys? Did you have fun? Ah. And he goes, oh, you heard about the Child of Prophecy thing. So, it's a good thing, huh? Oh, wait, Arturo, you didn't tell them yet? Oh, like I was saying, this girl here is the Child of Prophecy. She has the same name as King Arthur, so it makes perfect sense when you think about it. And Da Vinci's like, yeah, I did kind of think it might be possible since you had the same name as King Arthur, but your magical energy isn't even on par with a normal fairy's. It's more like a lesser being's. Are you really supposed to be able to beat Queen Morgan? You're way too weak. You're weaker than Mike. Da Vinci's going for the throat there. Poor Artoria. This entire singularity is about bullying Artoria as much as possible. From all angles. But, we go through the rest of it. She has the Staff of Selection with her. She does know about the journey and does think she's the Child of Prophecy, maybe, possibly. So, we're going to go ahead and consider her the Child of Prophecy and take her with us. All right, Oberon has helped secure us with an audience with Aurora, the leader of the town here. However, because he has brought some lesser beings with him, and because we spoke out of turn, this girl here is now going to have us killed, or at the very least detained. On top of that, for us to say that we're in company with the Child of Prophecy, they don't believe that at all. Therefore, we'll have to prove it by not dying. We did it! Get wrecked, Coral. Behold, this is Aurora. Theme of Waltz. Alright. So, she's asking Oberon if he's come to tell her such interesting and silly tales of a world outside. You can tell she's very shiny. Very shiny. On top of that, the second that we shift the conversation over to talking about the Child of Prophecy and ringing the bells on our journey, the atmosphere completely changes around her. Especially because we're a human that spoke to her directly out of turn, but she's an Ara Ara Mama. And she's like, oh my gosh, it's been so long since a human was willing to speak with me. How many years has it been? You, what's your name? Where are you from? What's your blood type? Oh, I'm sorry, it's been so long. Please excuse me. So Oberon explains that we have come here from another world. We're travelers to this Britain from a whole new world. Yay. Proper human history, Lostbelts, come here to defeat Morgan. And Oberon says, don't worry, Aurora here is an ally to us in this fairy kingdom. She doesn't approve of Morgan's rule over these past 2,000 years either. Alright, so we've got her alliance. She talks about Einzel's prophecy, and the story of the Child of Prophecy, the Song of the Child of Prophecy specifically. On top of that, Da Vinci even asks her, because Da Vinci notices that Aurora has an incredibly powerful magical reading around her, that if she were to help us, would we even stand a chance against Morgan? And Aurora says, oh no, Morgan would completely destroy us with just one finger. Now, when asking if we could ring the bell of Salisbury, Aurora says she will allow us if we can prove ourselves first. We have to exorcise the calamity of Norwich. So, that is our current quest now. We must exorcise the calamity of Norwich in order to be able to ring the bell in Salisbury. On top of that, there is a bell in Norwich, so we have to go there eventually anyway, so 2 birds, 1 stone. All right, back to the legend of King Arthur. Even more talking about King Arthur. King Arthur, King Arthur, King Arthur. Hey, Artoria. King Uther. King Arthur. The White Castle of Camelot. Etc., 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 etc. All right, so Da Vinci talked about the Arthurian legend for so long it went from afternoon to evening. That's how long it took. Luckily for us, we all know about the legend of King Arthur, right? We don't need to do too much digging back there. Wow, this is still section 3 only? Oh boy. New day! Good morning, Artoria. How are you? Alright, so, we're told to get some jobs. Oberon tells us to get some jobs. And in fact, he even lined one up for us. We're gonna go help out this farm fairy who's having trouble with birds attacking her crops. On top of that, we're marveling at just how big everything is here. It's a huge farmland for basically as far as the eye can see, up over to the horizon and everything like that. We ask a little bit about what this calamity is. And basically she say it's a shapeless thing that brings death. That's what we can summarize that. Alright, time to fight some birds. This is the birds that was attacking her crops. Alright, we beat the birds. Good job. She even says after we shoo them off that she even says that she would take care of them herself, but but they are unpermitted by the queen to hurt the wildlife. And we set up scarecrows to scare the birds away. And she says, "What a great idea." Ah, and this is where we are told about the Fairy Knights under Morgan's command. And now Castoria is getting some info about the Knights of the Round Table and the Arthurian legends. Because those are very important things to know. So yes, Artoria just basically mentions the 3 fairy knights because Tristan shares a name with one of them. Talks about the right-hand blade Barghest, the most terrifying fairy in the kingdom, Tristan, and the most beautiful fairy of them all, Lancelot, was how they were described, if I recall correctly. All right, Castoria is commenting that Mike makes delicious alcohol. I know they don't say alcohol, but it's alcohol. And we have invited Coral to our room. It is time to talk about something important. All right, so Coral is here to tell us about a location that MASH might be in. She says that in this Britain it is unpermitted for humans to be by themselves. And since our friend that we're looking for is a human, if she was found, it is very likely that she would have been sent to a southwestern human farm. On top of that, they received reports that 3 days ago, there were new humans sent there, so it's very possible, very likely even, that she would be there. That being said, the only way for us to get in and get her out would be to sneak in and to do a covert operation. Aurora is willing to lend us some guides to at least to take us there. So, they are human soldiers. Which is interesting, but the reason that they are human soldiers is because human soldiers have the ability to fight with the Moors, or the Moss, and not be corrupted by it because it only affects fairies. Hence why they use human soldiers. So, this is the human farm. That's right. And if you wonder what they mean by human farm, it means exactly what you think. They are raising humans like cattle, basically. Birthing them in these facilities, raising them to a certain age, and then handing them out to fairies. This is how humans exist and are treated in this fairyland. It also serves as a re-educational facility for anyone that gets uppity. So, Artoria tells us, luckily, she's got magic perfectly suited for this. Merlin taught her things such as breaking and entering magic, wall scaling magic, invisibility magic, sleep magic, and other very important magics that everyone should know as a caster. So, we scale the wall and sneak ourselves in. It's like a town, but with several massive factory buildings in certain places, while the rest are clearly just housing facilities. Scree! Artoria, get back! All right, we get found, as expected. There are tons and tons and tons of enemies, will-o-wisps, that were acting as night guards. All right, Da Vinci asks us to use our connection with MASH as a servant, and although the air is dense and thick with mana, try and seek out where the connection is strongest in the direction to see if we can find MASH. And here we have a proper knight of the Queen. But hey, luckily for us, we win. Easy peasy, no problem. It was a tough battle, but we won. Over 1 hour and the summer's still going. We ain't even done with part 1. Or 6.1. It's going to be a while. Alright, Da Vinci's telling us to run because reinforcements are coming. But we say, but what about MASH? But the rebel army shows up. That's right, there's a rebel army here that has launched an attack on this facility. Lucky for us, they just happen to do it right now. Alright, this gives us time to search the area a bit more. Unfortunately, all we find are normal humans that have been raised here in Fairy Kingdom of Britain. The rebel soldiers that attacked are freeing all the people from here and gathering them up to try and take them away from this area. They ask if we wanted to go join them and meet up with the rebel army, and we say, sorry, but we are kind of on a journey right now together. Castor Artoria didn't look like she wanted to go there anyway, so we'll save that until later. They call themselves the Round Table Army as well. And then she shows up. Da Vinci says that the magical energy readings are off the scales here. On top of that, what are those? Some sort of living creature. And she has brought fire with her all around. She has launched one strike onto the rebel army and said that she took down basically all of them. On top of that, any of the fleeing humans are going to be captured and taken in for punishment. She's going to hunt down every last human here in the name of Queen Morgan. She notices that we act a bit different from all the other humans in this land have, and is immediately able to surmise that we must be the foreign mage from Proper Human History, the Proper Human History's master that the Empress has told her about. Fairy Knight Gawain's smart. Fairy Knight Gawain very smart. Alright, she attacks us. The fight does not go well for us. The fight goes very not well for us. On top of that, while we were fighting her, we find out that she has an innate ability to eat magical energy around her, and she was devouring our command seals just by being close to us and gaining more power from it. So this is looking like an absolute loss. But Tristan, in one final act, decides that he will be the one to stop them while we escape. Da Vinci says that's probably our best plan of action, so go ahead, Tristan. we're gonna get out of here. Tristan uses a backup noble phantasm to cast his strings all around in a web and hold Fairy Knight Gawain down to prevent her from pursuit. And just like that, Fairy Knight Gawain, who just said that she would be able to easily break through these flimsy strings and catch us in no time, can no longer move. Because Tristan is being badass. Look at that awesome art he gets. Unfortunately, the amount of energy that this takes for him to do is incredible. And it's taking away basically all the remaining magical power that he has after the battle to continue to hold her back. Oh, the sound lag is strong. As you can see, it did not go well for Tristan. Gawain says to pursue the running away human and his servants. And their servants. Go and kill them. On top of that, she laments that she accidentally destroyed the facility like that. So she will be reprimanded for making such a blunder. That sound just now. Yep, we'll have to worry about it later. We gotta run. Oh, hey, look! A carriage! A horse and a carriage. Isn't that lucky? Alright, so luckily Oberon was able to borrow a carriage and save us with Red Rabbit. This is a human they captured. He even says, wait, you're wrong. I didn't do anything bad. They were just trying to force us out of here. I even said I didn't want to go. Please don't kill me. Don't kill me. I've only got a little while left before I'm free. Basically, you spend so long in here, and then you're off to live with fairies and stuff and be their slaves. Please, someone help me! Ah! And that's where those creatures come from. Gawain creates those black dogs, as they're called. All right. Fragment number 2. All right, we've got Rob, the older brother, Wog, the younger brother, and Winky, Robin Wog's friend. The three goblins. They're talking about how they are currently transporting MASH off to a different town, and they have named her Annis because she doesn't remember what her name is, in order to sell her. Now, despite them saying she should leave all that heavy stuff behind, Annis here thinks for some reason she needs to keep all her heavy stuff with her. That would be the Orthonax, her armor, and the Black Barrel. Alright, so they're making big friends with each other because Annis here is so nice, and all these goblins, while they're bad people, because they're slavers, like nice people. On top of that, because she's clad in armor, the only other person they've ever really seen clad in armor has been the Queen's Knights, so they start thinking, this might not be the best person to try and sell, because what if she's scary like that Gawain? Oh no, a black dog! Whatever shall they do? Black dogs eat fairies. And they're fairies! Ah, but the answer is MASH strong. I mean, Annis strong. Alright, very good. By defending them from the black dogs, though, Wog and Rob think that Annis there must be the child of prophecy. Oh, what hijinks will they get up to next? Section 4. Gloucester. 1. Okay, so, Tristan was left behind to buy us time to escape, and he's gone now. Feels bad, man. And we still need to meet up with MASH. Alright, so we are now traveling our way to, Gloucester. Because, it is another place where there is a bell of the altar to ring, and we might have better luck there. And it would be easier than trying to solve the calamity of Norwich before being able to ring the Salisbury bell, so it's worth a shot. So yeah, this is just us traveling for a long time, talking about everything that had happened, all the information we gathered of the Moss, the Round Table Army, the Fairy Knights, the fact that Queen Morgan is the ruler, all that stuff. And meanwhile, in the throne room, the Queen is conducting a meeting with the leaders of several clans. We've got Spriggan. He's a dick. He's talking about how the Moss have become more numerous and how the calamity is heading towards his town of Norwich, and there's no need for anything to be done because he'll just evacuate the city. This is Woodworst. He is the clan leader of the Fang tribe. The Fang tribe being the Beastmen, meaning they are the strongest out there. He is elegant. He says the Moss are no trouble. His tribe, or his clan, can easily just eliminate all of them. That's why they're joined into the Queen's army. Spriggan says that, oh, are you sure you can even do anything? You're getting pretty up there in years, aren't you, old man? And instigates because Spriggan's a dick. Aurora shows up on Magic Hologram. to say, Woodworst, you can't do that. You must remain an elegant fairy at all times. After all, you're Oxford's lord. And she also praises him for making such delicious restaurants. He says, yes, of course. I understand, Aurora. And apologizes and basically says what everyone else is thinking, Spriggan's a dick. Here we have the leader of Gloucester, Mudian. She's not saying anything all that important. And we have one more silhouette, that the leader of Edinburgh, that doesn't say anything. And one more silhouette, the leader of the Mirror Clan, Einzel, who's also saying nothing. Yep, and he's dead. Hey, Mother, shouldn't we put a stop to this boring meeting already? So, it's time to meet the mama's girl. Look, chat, it's the goodest daughter in all of Britain. She basically said, what the hell are you all staying so silent for? You lose your humor during your boring jobs, you bastards. I came here to liven things up, didn't I? Oh, yes, Fairy Knight Tristan. Yes, the true daughter of Britain, yada, yada, yada. Basically telling them to praise her. But there's just something missing here. So you, and you. Yeah, that's right. How about we just rip off your lower halves? But we're nobles! You can't do this! Yeah! Look! And now she's puppeting them around with her strings as they spill blood. But they can't do that. Spilling blood and dirtying the throne room is a capital offense. So, out the window with them. Alright, that was fun. How is that, Mother? Did I make things more lively around here? Like I said, the goodest daughter in all of Britain. Alright, Woodworst has got his panties up in a britch, saying, some daughter to the queen you are. All you are is a letdown and an insult, yada yada. To which Tristan says, why are you in such a bad mood, you shitty dog? Is it because you're just too old and getting weak? And, you know, likes to instigate. Alright, Fairy Knight Gawain has now returned and is here to report the incident that happened at the Southwestern Human Farm. So, the nobles are going to talk about politics of what's going around. Spriggan once more says, hey, I don't need for the calamity to be solved. If you want to, go ahead, but, you know, I don't care. We got the best people in town. They can deal with it. Yada, yada, you know, he's a dick. Aurora says the Child of Prophecy is supposed to be the one that solves that calamity of the pooling calamity of Norwich if anything happens, but the Queen's Army could take care of it if she wanted to. Then they talk about the how Sheffield's Bogard is currently raising a rebel army himself to the north, so the Queen's Army is stretched a little thin. Alright, Morgan says she'll take care of the calamity in Norwich. She'll just deal with it with one spell, no problem. Alright, Spriggan has solved that problem. I guess good job. Hey, Beryl showed up. Ew, Beryl, boo, everybody boo. Alright, Morgan now says that what she intends to do, because this is a Lostbelt, is to overwrite proper human history with this reality. That way, there will be, the fairy kingdom of Britain will not disappear. Then she tells the different leaders of the clans to capture Chaldea's master alive with a huge reward for whoever is successful. That was a long arrow. And it's still going. Why is it still going? Holy crap, that's a long arrow. I forgot. Some of these arrows are like full sections by themselves. Especially in 6.1. Alright, we're making our way close to Gloucester. We're getting there. Alright, Oberon's explaining the existence of the altar bells, with Miriam being one of the old owners of them. Yada yada yada, yada yada yada. And hey, we've made our way to Gloucester! Everyone clap, look at this wonderful city. So, Castoria explains that she's been here before, where she was forced to take part in a beauty pageant and stripped naked by another fairy against her will. If only we were there at that time. If only. Alright, on top of that, we learned that Gloucester is a very special town. A town in which you're basically reset to level 1 while you're in there. Everything is set to level 1 with the exception of the clan leader here. Basically, that means no one can possibly go against Murian as long as they're in this town because of that. And we hear a voice cry out, someone, help! My rats, I dropped my rats! You need to stop them before they run away! So we gotta go help this person collect their rats. Alright, we go help them collect their rats. These are the rats. Alright, we got them. We got those rats. They didn't look that much like rats, but they were rats. They said they were rats. Big things will look small and small things will look big. That's just the kind of thing Gloucester is. It swings strengths around, swaps strengths around. So we're exploring the town. We're on a town date with Artoria. And hey, we meet a fairy. Well, she looks nice. So we chat up this fairy for a little bit. We find out that she's clearly a higher class noble fairy, looking here to buy some shoes and stuff. And she's happy to talk with someone that isn't going on and on and on about this child of prophecy nonsense. After all, who cares, right? And hey, it seems like we've made some friends. We're trying to get into an auction here in Gloucester, and unfortunately, it's an invite only. She and that fairy there even pulls out a ticket and says, "You know, I've got some tickets, but I'm just not going to give them to you," before walking away and going, "Oh, ho, 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 ho." She was a pretty amazing fairy, huh? Oh, ho, 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 ho. Up? It's ticket invite only. Well, yeah, of course I got a hold of them. Hey, thanks, Oberon. Look. Oh, poor Castoria. She's upset that she never gets a time to shine. She was going to use breaking and entering magic in here, but Oberon already took care of it. She was going to use magic outside of the human farm facility, but Da Vinci just scaled the wall with her gadgets. Poor Castoria, she doesn't get a chance to shine. All right, we are now at the fairy auction. Yay! So the reason we have come here is because we heard that there is that the child of prophecy is up for auction here. On top of that, this child of prophecy is carrying around some sort of steel weaponry or iron weaponry even. Well, that sounds like it could be MASH. So they're bringing up their final item for the day, their most valuable product, and for that, Lady Murian, the town leader, is going to come and begin the auction. All right, the final lot number, the Child of Prophecy. Drum roll, please. Well, that doesn't look like the Child of Prophecy. That's just some old man. It's the old man. Hey, let me out of here. So yeah, he says he's not the Child of Prophecy. He's Senji Muramasa. He's a servant. He's just a humble blacksmith. So yeah, it wasn't MASH. But it's not like we can just leave him here. On top of that, if we save him, we can bolster our forces. Okay, so Oberon says he's got what is that? 70 million to work with. So he'll start with 10 million for a bid. Let's see this. Yeah, that's 70 million. So he's gonna start with 1 million on the bid. 1 million, 1 million, 2 million, 3, 4, 450, 5 million. Artoria Sama is currently in the lead with 5 million. And Oberon is forcing Artoria to be the one bidding because it's more fun that way. Oberon! Current leading is 5 million. Wait a second, we've got 10 million. 10 million is the new lead. Is there any bids over 10 million? 20 million! Artoria. And then she's like, you know what? Screw it. The whole 70 million. How's that? Artoria hates to lose. 70 million. Going once. Going twice. 1 billion. I don't know who the hell is trying to outbid me, but I'll have you know your place. I'm the one that's going to win this competition. What's that? I'm not gonna lose. In that case, I'll bid everything Oberon owns, even the cloak on his back, for 1 billion, 1 million. 1.1 billion. He's like, wait a second, all of my stuff doesn't even come out to 10 million. Ah, nothing like betting money you don't have. Alright, they don't know how to settle this, so they ask Munian-sama, the town leader, to settle this for us. Anyway, Artoria just stormed on down there when she got called, and we went with Artoria because she'd feel nervous without a friend. And our opponent is Lady Spinel. That is to say, Fairy Knight Tristan. Oops. Somebody made an oopsie. Alright, Munian says that we are going to have a contest of magic against each other, and whoever wins will take the Child of Prophecy from the auction. Alright, who's going to win? Artoria, obviously. Bukrosuzo teme! I'll fucking kill you. That's fun. Alright, so we have a magic match against her, and Castoria wins. No, she's like, this doesn't count. This doesn't count. I demand a do-over. If I was at my full magical strength, this wouldn't even be a competition. And Artoria says, well, maybe you should go back to magical kindergarten, 'cause you suck. And then all the homies in the background go, oh! Because that is the fattest diss they've ever seen on Fairy Knight Tristan. Alright, she leaves. We did it. There are no homies in the stands? We're the homies in the stands. Alright, so we somehow made our way through this. Anyway, we own an old man now. We bought ourselves an old man. A humble blacksmith. I hope that he can, I hope he can be a good worker. They explain how Muramasa got captured? Sure did. They're going to do it right now. We even ask what the hell happened. So he says, after the events of Olympus, he got a job from the foreign god. The British Lostbelt is going to cause a... Basically, he was told the British Lostbelt is going to cause something to go wrong. Go kill the king of that Lostbelt. So he came here to Britain to do it. Alright, he made his way to Camelot, beat his way through everyone that got in his way. He took down Fairy Knight Gawain and Fairy Knight Tristan out of his way with no trouble. But when he got to the throne room, there was one more that knocked him out the window. When he was knocked out the window, he had a mid-air battle with that one, being Fairy Knight Lancelot, for a while. But as time went on, he was having trouble. After all, if he was a normal servant, he would have died 10, no, maybe 12 times? Yeah, she killed him about 12 times falling down that hole. Luckily for him, as he is a apostle of the foreign god, it's a lot harder to kill him. So he fell down that hole, got knocked into a wall because the hole seemed to have no end to it, and it took him 3 days to climb himself back out of it. After that, he was captured on the road by some bad fairies because he was out of energy after those 3 days, set up for sale here, and spent 5 days waiting here for auction. Basically, if he didn't die a bunch of times, he would have been fine, but he died a few times, so you know. Luckily, he didn't die when he was killed. That's right, they made that reference. And Artoria's like, wait, you made it all the way to the throne room? You fought your way there? And he's like, so what? Yeah, but I still didn't kill her. It's not like I did what I came here to do. No attempts to break out? He can't break out. This is Gloucester. In Gloucester, everyone's level is set to 1 with the exception of Murian. Which means it doesn't matter that he's insanely powerful outside of Gloucester. Inside of Gloucester, he's like a strong human, basically. That's his strength. So of course he wasn't able to break out. After all, he basically went unconscious for 3 days after climbing out of the giant hole, then got sold off as a slave. Anyway, nice to have you here, Muramasa. A humble blacksmith. And now it's finally time for us to meet. The owner of Gloucester, the leader of Gloucester, Murian. Yay! What a cute fairy, with such a beaming smile. Why, she must be the epitome of sainthood. Look how nice she looks. She's like, wait. What's with the reactions? I even set up that long shot for you, and you shitty fairies and shitty humans aren't going to give me the proper reactions? A nice fourth wall meta break. Her face kind of reminds me of another character I know, BB. I wonder why that is. Yeah, really though, why is that? You'll see. Maybe. Possibly. There's a chance. Alright, so we ask her for any information on MASH, if she knows anyone named MASH, or if she knows of any girls that have been carrying around armor that might have been captured or anything. On top of that, we tell her that Castoria is the child of prophecy. We've come to ring the bell, and we're on that journey. What do we need to do to ring the bell? She tells us that she'd love to let us ring the bell, but she can't do it until we've proven ourselves that she's the child of prophecy. So, same shit as with Aurora. We say, how about if we solve the calamity of Norwich? Would that be good enough to prove? And she's like, yeah, sure. That sounds about right. Anyway, she calls in her new bodyguard. It's Koyanskaya in another new outfit. No, you can't just fall for her with a single look like that. Bad main character. She pulls the spritz bottle out and is like, how dare you not fall for me in a single look, but look at her booba and do that. On top of that, she says that she will not allow any sort of violence inside of her city. Gloucester is a peaceful city. Anyone that tries any sort of violence will have no chance, will be punished and have no chance of escaping their crimes. Alright, so Koyanskaya is here with a business proposal for Murian. That is why she is working here. Also, she's here to, tell Muramasa he's a bitch, because that's what she does. Alright, so Murian has all the info about the outside world, proper human history, yada yada from Koyanskaya, for obvious Koyanskaya's here reasons. Anyway, she decides to talk about how she hopes, since her game board is getting set up, she hopes to invite us to play sometime before the end of that scene. I hope she likes to play chess. Chess is fun. Although, if it's a big game board and she wants multiple people to play, I know, we're gonna play Sorry. After all, somebody's gonna say sorry by the end of it. So, the lower fairies of Gloucester are here to thank Artoria and say that they had a great time watching her win the auction and humiliating Fairy Knight Tristan. After all, Fairy Knight Tristan is the most hated fairy in all of the Fairy Kingdom, considering her kill count is a little high. I believe they said something like in the past 100 years she's killed something close to 100,000 fairies. All right, we're now going to head back towards Salisbury. So, next up, we have the Section 5 Fragment, number 3, Sheffield. So, it's a fragment back to Mash's story. Look, Annis! It's Sheffield's town! Alright. Annis, along with the 3 goblin boys, are brought here to Sheffield. They call it basically an impenetrable town because it is made with the bark of the world tree, that is the Lostbelt tree, for the town walls. This is Bogard, the ruler of this town. And they have come to sell Annis off as the child of prophecy to him. And he's like, child of prophecy? This little girl? Yeah, that's right, Bogard. There's no question about it. She beat up some black dogs and stuff. She's gotta be the child of prophecy. And he's like, you fools, this girl isn't even a fairy. What are you, fucking stupid? My nose can't be deceived. This is a human. Wait, Annis is a human? But she's stronger than a fairy. That don't make no sense, man. And Bogart says every so often humans like that do come along. It's not impossible. He tells the guards to take the goblins away and lock them up, but Annis here smashes them back and says, I'm sorry, but I won't allow you to do that. You won't hurt any of them. If they say so, then I must be the child of prophecy. So Bogart's like, oh, I like what I see. Basically like, I like what I see. This girl's got strength and everything. I'm going to make her my 62nd bride. So she was taken to meet a fairy called Habignan. Habignan, I got some new work for you. Taze. Habignan, did you finally break? Were you given too much work? So she's like, finally, it's the job I've been waiting for. So, upon seeing Mash, she's like, this is exactly what I've been waiting for. So I just need to turn this young girl into a bride, huh? She's incredibly cute, so this should be easy. Remember, Habitrot is an ally to all brides. And Habitrot notices that Annis can't be her name. It doesn't suit her. And besides, it looks like the name Mash is written on the inside of that shield. And just like that, Mash has gotten her name back thanks to Habignan. And so from that point forward, she will be known as Mash. And by the next day, Habitrot had made her the most beautiful dress in all the lands. Look! It's the bridal outfit for Mash. And Mash seems to like it a lot. All the smiles. So Habitrot has become Mash's first friend here in Sheffield and created a beautiful dress for her. The next day, all the locals are talking about Mash and how she has become the new bride for Bogart. And the goblins talking about how they are now given tons of gold and treasure and stuff so they can live in Sheffield as much as they want. So, Bogart says that he will not acknowledge her as the child of prophecy, but he will allow the townspeople to talk as they please. After all, it's good political information, or it's good political power to have them think that she's the child of prophecy, and it can be used as leverage against the Queen, because again, Bogart is rebelling against the Queen. So, Bogart left Mash alone, and she heard from this soldier that there is trouble outside of the walls, that there's moss showing up out here. And Mash, being the good girl that she is, says that she's going to go out and take care of it. Habitrot comes along because she refuses to leave Mash alone. After all, she might get in trouble. And why are you suddenly clad in armor? What happened to my dress? Yes, I was wearing this under the dress, so it was perfect. And now Habitrot has to make a new dress for her. Alright, so they beat up the moss, making the land a little bit safer for everyone here. And of course, the knight here is impressed, very willing to believe that she is the child of prophecy, and because of that, it's going to spread word around the town and help lift spirits and all that. Mash is hanging out with Bogart, looking out on the scenery, talking about how it's beautiful but still kind of somber and lonely in looking out upon this fairy world. Speed up. Oh, this is a page that could have been forgotten, but let's turn back the page just one day. Behold! It is the first night of marriage. So, Bogart is ready to consummate the marriage. After all, he's had 62 brides before. He's had lots of practice. What the hell was that? Are we under attack? Bogart-sama! What the hell is this? Oh, it looks like the walls have been crashed from the room near the throne. No, those bastards! Bogart-sama has been assassinated! It was assassins! Wait, hold on, I'm still alive. Look, I just fell 50 feet, I'm fine. My legs are just broken, that's it. Or 50 meters, not 50 feet, my bad. The voice from above, I'm so sorry, Bogart-san. I didn't mean to do it. Are you okay? I'm sorry, really, that was just a reflex. When Bogart-san suddenly put his hands on my shoulders, I just... So yeah, Bogart went to take her cloak off, and she reflexively just smashed him through the walls, So, Bogart did not smash the mash. All right, so a few days have passed, and everyone really loves MASH. Everyone really loves MASH. The goblins are a little bit sad that they gave her up because they really love MASH too. But hey, it's good that she's living a better life than she could have otherwise, and they're living a better life than they could have otherwise. Alright, Bogart gets a shipment of weaponry from Edinburgh. And within that shipment is... Dun, 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 dun. Where is it? Well, whatever. They're talking about they got some sort of large black steel pipe. Kind of like a cannon, but a little different. But Habitrot looks at it and says that it fires through the use of magical energy. And on top of that, it uses such a tremendous amount of it that any fairy would probably die from it. The only one in this entire city that could even fire it without doing so is probably Bogart himself. I wonder what that could be. I wonder what kind of weapon that could be. Anyway, yeah, they got the black barrel. All right, Bogart comes to talk to Mash about the whole Child of Prophecy thing and yada yada, which really begs to ask how they thought Mash could be the Child of Prophecy. It's a 16-year-old girl. Mash is older than that. Based on how much time has passed, she's in her 20s now. Alright, so Bogart tells a little bit about the past of the prophecy and whatnot, and is revealing that the whole reason he is rebelling against Morgan in the first place is because his hometown, Norwich, was stolen from him. And he wants it back. And because he could not get it back while under the rule of Morgan, he started his own town here, Sheffield, and has been slowly working things together to get a force large enough to steal Norwich back. I mean, Muramasa also isn't a 16-year-old girl. Yeah, that's true. So, meanwhile, Winky comes out to an encampment right outside of Sheffield and sells out some info there to Morgan. And meanwhile, runs into a friendly face. Look at that smile. And he even goes, "Hey, I heard there's a Child of Prophecy here, right? You must know her name, right? Come on, give me some info." And Winky tries to leave, and Barrow's like, "Come on now, you can't be leaving that soon, Winky. After all, you gotta show your face around here a bit more." So, I'm sure that went well for him. Alright, I'm gonna do a quick restart on this to fix the sound. Because the sound got a little bit laggy. And we'll move on to Section 6 is next. We still aren't even done 6.1. It's been like 2 hours and we're not done 6.1. Oh god. Also, the child of prophecy could have been male or female, but 16-year-old was the important part. And neither Mash nor Muramasa should have looked 16 whatsoever. And then again, they're fairies. Fairies don't know nothing about nothing. Fairies are all idiots. Fate Stay Night Shiro is 17. However, that is not Fate Stay Night Shiro's body. Fate Stay Night Shiro is not that fucking ripped. That has to be a slightly older Shiro to be as ripped as Muramasa is. Dude shredded like crazy. Alright, so we are now leaving Gloucester and heading to Wales. We hear the sound of a very suspicious fairy who's like, "Oh no, we're being attacked, and my brothers have been attacked, and if you don't help us, we're gonna die." And Artoria immediately just jumps out and is like, I gotta help them. They're in trouble. They're eating him, and then they're gonna eat me. Oh my god. And hey, it turns out she was right. Turns out this guy is just really weird in the way he talks. Also, it's the Seven Dwarfs. He and his brothers are the Seven Dwarfs from Snow White. They even say hi-ho. And they say that they were on a trip to do work to throw trash away. Yes, that's right. Hi-ho, it's off to work we go. Anyway, in the battle there, we found NFF Services monsters, meaning Koyanskaya has brought some monsters with them. Or with her. Okay, what happens here? Oh, okay. Alright, so, this is where Muramasa here tells us that he is not just Senji Muramasa in that body, but there are several divinities within him, which are what gives him such tremendous power and why he is an alter ego and all that. On top of that, he tells us that there are no gods here in Britain. They have no concept of God because why would the fairies need to worship something? The concept of God was developed by humans to explain beings of higher power that do things they can't copy. Meanwhile, fairies have the power to be able to just magic anything into existence. A fairy can snap its fingers and be like, I put a building here, or here's a banquet, here's a feast, etc. But because fairies can do that, they have no reason for there to be any gods to worship. Muramasa then tells us that that's a problem for him because he's built specifically to kill gods. He is an anti-god weapon built by the foreign god. That's why he went to Olympus in the first place, was because if it looked like Olympus was going to become a problem, the foreign god was going to have him just kill off all the gods, and Muramasa would have been able to do so without much trouble. But when it comes to fighting things that aren't gods, he's basically just a regular servant. Hence why he had trouble against Fairy Knight Lancelot. And now we make it to Wales. Welcome. It's the Forest of Autumn in Wales. This is Oberon's territory. Looks nice, but there's no towns or anything, just forest. Look at all the happy fairies and bugs. All right, this little fairy wants a knight helmet to play with. And Oberon tells him, don't make an actual helmet, especially nothing out of iron, because iron kills fairies. He's like, don't worry, I'll just make him a toy. So Muramasa goes to make him a toy. Meanwhile, the fairies here are like, hey, you want some food? Let's have a feast. And with that, Oberon decides that he's going to leave because he's got to go do more information gathering. So we're going to hang out here in Wales. We're going to play with the fairies, eat. We can't understand their language because they speak some sort of runic language. But through basic gestures and stuff, we've got an idea of what they're doing. But suddenly, we're attacked by black dogs. And they were trying to eat all the little forest fairies, so of course we helped them, because we don't want the cute little forest fairies to be eaten. And we learned what black dogs are. We're like, they're different from moss, and he's like, yes, fairies become moss, but black dogs are different in that black dogs eat fairies. They're the only creatures out there that can eat fairies. Yay, we're having a party. Later that night, after dinner. Chatting about this and that, nothing particularly important. I guess the big important thing here is we can't really sleep, so we go for a walk. Basically, they were just talking about strategy and our power levels and yada yada, because we lost Tristan. And we meet with Oberon. We sit down and have a nice chat. And this is where Oberon tells us a little story. A little story about the fact that his objective as a fairy is to find the love of his life. That is, to find Titania, the fairy from the story A Midsummer Night's Dream, the one who loved Oberon. But unfortunately, it's an impossible objective to reach, because while the Fairy King Oberon did exist in proper human history, Titania did not. She was merely a story character. But even so, he'll keep searching on to try and find her, as best he can, even if it is a little embarrassing. What a true romantic. And thus Oberon leaves to go do more information gathering. More scouting. Yeah. Alright, if I recall correctly, this is where we have a sparring match of Castoria versus Da Vinci, Muramasa, and Red Rabbit. But of course, we lend her our aid. After all, we're Artoria's ally. But what about MASH? Forget MASH. You're my new MASH. You're better. That's definitely what was said. I didn't ad-lib that at all. That voice was Oberon. Look, chat, it's little Oberon. He's so tiny. It's Oberon's scouting form. All right. Oh boy. It's time for more Sheffield stuff. It's time for big Sheffield stuff. All right, Section 7, Fragment, Sheffield, Part 2. All right, the armies are preparing to surround Sheffield and everything like that. Again, remember, Bogard has outed himself as a rebel. The entire city is a rebel city, so Morgan is sending her armies in order to either negotiate him down or slaughter them all. And as night falls, the armies show up to attack. Oh, right before that, sorry. Right before that, Bogard talks about Mash's fear of fighting a little bit back there. And how she has such power, but she has no intention of fighting. And so she should not be near the battlefield in the first place. So, they received a letter from Morgan, basically demanding to give over the Child of Prophecy. It makes no attempt at talking about his rebel forces at all, so he says, is he being looked down upon? But he says, no, if anything, this is a good bargaining chip. After all, she didn't even send any of her main forces. She just wanted to surround us because since they got here so early, she couldn't have sent actual forces. But reports from the scouts say the 3 fairy knights are here. So Bogard's wrong. Bogard's very wrong about not sending main forces. She sent all the forces. All right. So, Gawain is here to spearhead the charge in the front gate. Lancelot has been ordered to fly overhead and dive into the castle, picking off the fairies inside. And meanwhile, Fairy Knight Tristan can go on a slaughtering spree when the time comes. She's told to hang back for now. And on top of that, Bogard's starting to get a little pissed because for her to send all 3 fairy knights means that instead of taking Bogard seriously, the demand was to just give up the Child of Prophecy and they leave. They're not taking his threat seriously at all, which means that the Child of Prophecy is the only thing that she cares about, and Bogard is being looked down upon. So he's going a little upset. The siege begins. Fairy Knight Gawain's knocking on the front door, and she knocks a little bit hard. Fairies are attacking the walls from all sides using using their powers. He's like, was that a cannon? Nope, that was Gawain. She's using her guillotine over and over again on the front gate. And even though the gate itself is magically constructed, it's not going to hold out forever against that. Oh. It didn't show it. So, his back against the wall, and not knowing what to do, he goes up on top of his castle, aims the mysterious cannon that he received just a day ago, and pours a bunch of magical energy into it, firing at the front gate. The black barrel is shot, and it shows the power of it. Gawain could not break through the front gate with multiple guillotine NPs. One shot from the black barrel liquefied it and set the entire castle city on fire. In a single instant, with a single shot, 600 members of the Queen's army completely disappeared. And what should have been a celebratory moment for the fairies of Sheffield was instead a moment of horror. On top of that, Gawain got hit by it herself. She didn't take a direct hit, but she was charred completely black and brought to her knees. So, Bogart is celebrating, saying, it's so wonderful. Look, my soldiers. Look at this divine luck of heaven that we've been bestowed. We shall win. We shall win. Morgan couldn't even hold us back. Bogart doesn't notice that the fairies around him have all dropped dead. He didn't even hit them. They just died from the collateral damage of being near it. So Bogart's gone a little crazy. And Mash begins crying. After seeing such this beautiful world be injured like this. And Habitrot says, come on, Mash, we're getting out of here. But leaving Bogart-sama alone, he says, who cares? Get out of here. So Habitrot's like, come on, Mash, we're leaving. Bogart will be fine. He's happy. And I love Gawain's response. Charred black, brought to her knees. You can't believe it. Oh, you mean that little light show just now? All it was a little bit of burning magical energy. It's nothing. Gawain's super tough like that. Tough girl. She orders her men to charge into the castle city and take over Sheffield. She will, in the meantime, stand there and basically become a big old decoy and say, go on, Bogart, shoot me. I dare ya. I mean, she did dare him. Unfortunately for Bogart, what he didn't realize is that he had already spent most of his magical energy on the first shot and was basically skin and bones at that point. So it's not like he even has the magical energy to fire it again. All right, the Sheffield Knights are protecting the rear gate. They were ordered by Bogard not to allow the rear gate to open, because if it were, then that would be a strategic loss for them. So, under no circumstances is it to open, and now the fairies are fighting amongst themselves. Rob and Wog are hiding out in the sewers right next to the gate, looking for the best chance to try and get out. Rob realizes that this is not a very good situation for them. Wog, on the other hand, on the left, is a bit of a dunce, so he doesn't realize just how serious the situation is, just that they should get out of Sheffield. So, Mash makes her way back here and orders them to open the gate. And hey, she's a lord of Sheffield. She's one of Sheffield's rulers. Therefore, what a good loophole. Let's open that gate. In the meantime, she'll hold off the Queen's soldiers and protect everyone around here. On top of that, Mash declares herself as Fairy Knight Galahad before going into the fight and being way more powerful than she's ever been before. In fact, she goes in at level 100 as Fairy Knight Galahad. The rear gates are opened. We'll just leave the rest of this town to Bogard and file everyone else out. But then, I shall not allow you to escape. You shall all die here. This is the path you have chosen. Lancelot! Fairy Knight Lancelot! She's gonna kill us! She's gonna kill us! Albatross says, "What was that? A fairy? A fairy knight? That thing?" So, she spotted the Child of Prophecy, and she is pursuing to capture her. But, what did you say again? Galahad or something? It seems you've gotten a little too big for yourself. Mash fights as Fairy Knight Galahad against Fairy Knight Lancelot, but is overpowered. Fairy Knight Lancelot is far too powerful for Mash to handle on her own. That sound from above, it came from Bogard-sama's area. What happened? Oh no, I know what that face means. She wants to go help him, doesn't she? Suddenly? Oh, hey, who's this guy? Wait, are you the wolf that's always been by my side protecting me? Oh, what's that? So you saw through me, huh? It looks like this was the wolf that's been by Mash's side this whole time. And he's like, I'll buy you time so you can leave. And he's like, wait, what the hell? That's not outside. You're returning to the castle. Oi! Like I thought. But, oh well, it can't be helped. That's just how Mash is. Grim! You're Grim, right? It's been a while, huh? Anyway, I'll leave this to you. So, the wise sage Grim is here to help us. And hold off Fairy Knight Lancelot. Mash, on the other hand, is returning to the castle to try and help out Bogard. Because a loud boom went off there. Anyway, in the meantime, Fairy Knight Tristan here has been taking her time ripping up and pulling out the insides of this lion. Quite literally, what she describes herself as doing is using her threads to rip his stomach open, pull his bowels out, tie a necktie around his bowels, and puppet him with her strings. And Beryl's like, "Oh, hold on there, lady. He's losing a lot of blood. We can't have him dying yet. I've got a precious friend to meet up with first." And she's like, "What are you talking about? He's got plenty of blood. Here, look, Bogard will dance for you." He really is a pretty disgusting marionette, aren't you, Bogard? And Beryl's like, "Ah, that's what they call fetch back where I'm from." So yeah, she's having her fun puppeting basically a corpse around. So yeah, Bogard calls her a bitch. She says she'll just kill him. Beryl says, no, I still need him alive. Hold on now. "Are you okay, Bogard-san?" "Why?" Bogard's like, "Why would you come help?" "Wait, Mash, just slow down a bit. Wait, what the hell is that?" Bogard's bleeding all over the place, he's floating in the air, and someone's sitting on the throne. So look, it seems that this is the precious friend that Beryl was waiting for. Mash is like, "You know my name, so that means you must know who I am." "Oh, I heard. You lost your memories, huh?" "I heard it from that guy, what was his name? Mikey? Minky? Nah, that wasn't it. Anki? Ah, some name like that told me all about it." "Oh, well, it's great to see you again, Mash. I really feel like celebrating." "Anyway, I'm sorry that I left you here all alone, but I, Beryl Gut, have finally arrived. I know everything about you. After all, so let's come on and head over to New Darlington together. There we can have plenty of fun conversations together." Oh, come on, where's the important line? And he's like, hey, are you really saying you forgot me?" But, oh, I guess I'll forgive you. After all, I am your... And Mash says, I don't know what you might have been to me, but I can tell you're a scumbag. Fairy Knight Tristan sets up all her threads to keep Mash through, but Mash breaks through and smashes Beryl into the wall. Oh, that was pretty terrible there, to give me such a rough kabedon. Kabedon, for those wondering, is the one where you push the girl up to the wall and put your hand on the wall by them to kind of seduce them. But Beryl says, if you're going to try and kill me here, that'd be far too soon. Anyway, in order to make sure you don't do that, how about I just threaten Bogard's life? And Beryl says because he knows just how she is, this will work. And just like that, Bogard's body is slowly walked over and past the walls of the castle, and the threads are cut, dropping him through the sky. Beryl knew exactly what Mash would do, and she immediately runs off to save him. Meaning that Beryl is able to escape just fine. Freaking slimy piece of shit that he is. Anyway, he could still get a consolation prize here. The Black Barrel... Wait a second. Where'd the Black Barrel go? Looks like Beryl misplaced the Black Barrel. Alright, so Mash was able to cushion Bogard's fall with her own body. The nearly dead Bogard son was protected by her, but, I mean that. He looks like that. He's had limbs torn off, he's had his chest and stomach ripped open, organs ripped out of him. He's a little worse for wear. Bogard even asks why she would come back to save him, but she says, because Bogard's not a bad person. He always wanted to just work as a good ruler of these people and get his homeland back. Alright, Bogard commands all of the remaining fairies to quickly file out, but the problem is they're being chased from behind by the Queen's army. If they don't close the gate, then there's no way they'll get away. Oh, the gate closed. Amazing, Bogard. Did you set it up so that the gate would automatically close when you left? Hold on. I see. So that's why. And this is where the girl turned her head back and saw far away on top of the gate. So, Bogard is carrying Mash right now because Mash has run out of energy after everything she's done. She's shouting, wait, please wait. Goodbye. Thank you for saving me that day. Thank you for giving me a name. Thank you for helping me laugh. Thank you for everything. Because at Bogard's order, standing back there on the top of the gate were two were two shapes waving their arms with smiling faces. Bogard's alive, and is that Mash? Oh yeah, she must have saved him. So now they're getting out of here. So, because the gates had to be closed, and Rob realized it, he decided they had one important job that Rob and Wog had to do. And that was making sure the gate was closed so that everyone could get away. And Rob even says, "But hey, it's not so bad. After all, you always have to make sure you bet your life on something important. And I think we bet our lives on the most important thing we could have. Our very own child of prophecy." And soon after that, they would no longer be able to see Bogard's party running over the hills. The Battle of Sheffield came to an end. Until the soldiers had caught up to them on top of the gate, you could hear the two fairies shouting their goodbyes. The Gob Trio dies. Oh, the Gob Trio dies. Rob and Wog went out in a blaze of glory. So, Bogard was able to escape with him and some of his townspeople into this cave system, which is a hideout that he had set up. Problem is, Bogard's really injured. To the point that he's surely going to die. Mash declares that she will live on and carry on Bogard's will to save Norwich as a Knight of Sheffield. And hey, the wolf is here too! So, declaring that she will make her way to Norwich, she spends some time traversing through the vein corridor Oda Vena with Habitrot. We move on to Section 8. We're still in Lostbelt 6.1, baby. Oh, this is so long. This is so long, and I'm not doing direct translations. Hey, look, it's an Oberon. 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 Hey, look, that city looks bad. Alright. Oberon returns from his scouting mission after the past couple days and is going to tell us about the states of the major cities around the south. Basically tells us Sheffield's fucked completely. There's a big pooling calamity overhead of Norwich that's very visible, and the other three cities are fine. And hey, look, we've got a new friend. Gareth has joined the party. She believes in Ainsl's prophecy and wants to follow in Artoria's footsteps as a knight. Yay! She's been following us since Gloucester. Oberon asks why she would possibly want to do this. After all, following the Child of Prophecy means going against Queen Morgan. And she says, well, I don't know about all that, but I do believe in Artoria-san ever since I saw her at that auction. So I want to follow her no matter what. High five. So we're heading to Norwich now. At this pace, it's going to take 2 days to get there. 2 days. And we're going to avoid stopping by any towns on the way. Ah, yes. Woodworst here to talk about the leaders that did not show up at the meeting, Nokonorea and Murian, who refused to show up. And because Woodworst is in a bit of a bad mood, and this human comes here to deliver a message from Oxford, well, he gets the message that all the humans that were taken from the human farm and captured from the escape were all given to Gawain, when Woodworst was expecting them to be sent to him. So, well, angry dog. Angry dog. Anyway, he kind of choked that guy to death. Angry dog. Alright, and overnight we were attacked by Okiku-chan, aka Tamamo Cat for some reason. But no reason to worry about her. Alright, making our way across this beautiful island of Britain. The closest town that we're going to pass by is Oxford, which is where Woodworst is. He is the lord of that particular town. But other than that, we're going to be basically on a non-stop journey, no stopping by towns, until eventually we make our way to the Drake River. So, the Drake River is known as the River of Tears. The reason that it is known as such is because the Drake are water fairies that cast illusion magic along with basically hypnosis to show you the thing you most want in life and to trick you into jumping into the river to get it, where they will then drown you and eat you. Basically, like a siren. So we're trying to think of how we can cross this, because the bridge has been destroyed. And Oberon tells us, well, we'll figure something out. We'll probably just have to go up further north, and then find another way across the river, a different bridge, or just go around the whole thing. It'll be another day or so out of the way, but it'll be fine. Just don't look at the river. Is that a holy grail? Yes, it looks like there's a holy grail floating in the river. But come on, what's one or two holy grails? We've seen so many by now. There's no way that Gouda could be tempted by something as minuscule as that. Is that a dozen holy grails? Oh my god, I can't let that go. Woo, holy grails. Oh no, it looks like Gouda's heart was swayed, but I'm the beautiful genius Leonardo da Vinci, the perfect genius. There's nothing you could show me that... Is that an original invention? Oh, well. Did you guys really somehow defeat 5 Lostbelts when you're like this? Oh, god damn it, this is no good. Alright, I'm gonna have to go beat up those Drake bastards. Artoria, don't look at the river. I'm gonna jump in there and go save those idiots. Anyway, find a rope or something to help me get out of there when I'm done. Besides, it's not like they got anything that I could want. Hey, really, Muramasa-san? There's nothing you want. Hey, don't look over here. The river's right there. I'm next to the river. Did it really take 1 minute for us to lose 5 people? Just now. That was the thing you wanted most of all? Don't screw around with me. Hey, Oberon, come on, get some rope. I'm gonna jump in the river. There's no way I'm gonna find enough rope at this way. Ah, god damn it, I looked at the river. Alright, fine, whatever. Just show me whatever's gonna float there. Sold out. They ran out of magical energy. Whatever the hell Oberon wanted, they couldn't show it. Alright, so following our fun little escapades in here. Ooh, ow, we get punished. Grandpa hit us for being dumb. Alright, so, there's a big ol' magical bounded field around that lets us breathe and talk like that. We fight against the Drake, and we find out what the Drake truly wanted, because they are based off of certain water fairies of England. They want a baby. They can't find my baby. Where's my baby? The Drake have been trying to find babies, but they can't find any. After all, Da Vinci's been observing, and it looks like children don't exist in this Lostbelt. Oh hey, the magical energy's gone. Oh wait, this is a river. So we have to quickly swim out. Alright, so, children, babies, stuff like that don't exist here in Britain because it's all fairies. Fairies don't have babies. Fairies don't reproduce the normal way. They're kind of just born into existence. So, a fairy that's objective is to obtain a baby, a child, and raise it, will never be able to reach that. That's why the Drake have been drowning people for so long. Alright, okay, yeah. This is where Da Vinci talks more about that, and how there's no children in Fairy Night, or the Fairy Kingdom. Like I was just talking about. And if I recall, yes, this is where Oberon's going to tell us about the second part of the prophecy of saving Norwich. And the second part of the prophecy of saving Norwich is simply that Norwich itself will be destroyed in the process. Alright. Putting an end to Lostbelt 6.1 at Norwich. This is only 1/3. Told you it's going to take like 9 hours. Alright, we arrive at Norwich. Notice it's a pretty industrial city. There's a bunch of fairies and humans that are running businesses and doing deals with each other. It's a very lively town. They even have their own forgeries, which is something that you don't see in any other of the cities. And part of the reason is because, if you don't know from mythology, iron repels fairies and is like poison to them. So working with iron and stuff like that is something that most fairies wouldn't have the ability to do, and it would be forbidden for the most part, because it would be developing one of the few things that can actually kill fairies. So it's relegated only to Norwich and only under certain supervisions. Anyway, there's a forge here. You can guess what Muramos is going to go do. In some depictions, it's like literally radioactive. Yes, exactly. It's not quite that, but basically you stab a fairy with iron and even humans can fight back against them, is how it's depicted here in Lostbelt 6. Alright, we got... Oh, no. Don't hit skip. Don't hit skip, Thor. Lots of talking. We're talking about the condition of the town, finding a hotel where we can stay, some sort of inn and lodgings, about the various marketplaces, the people that are here, yada, 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 yada. And about all the townspeople talking about the fairy, the Child of Prophecy fairy, and how she must be so powerful, stronger than Morgan, more beautiful than Lancelot, more intimidating than Gawain, and much kinder than Tristan. Truly, she is shouldering the dreams of all people, and Artoria gets embarrassed because that's how she rolls. Hey look, Spriggan, he's a dick, he owns this town. What a dick. It's the Child of Prophecy! The Child of Prophecy! She has such amazing magical energy! But, Spriggan, why is the Child of Prophecy here? Isn't that an enemy of Morgan? And he's like, well, she's just here to help take care of the calamity in Norwich. But the Child of Prophecy we see is Mash. And the second we see Mash, there is no holding back. An instant sprint. And he's like, you're not a human of Norwich, are you? Just what are you doing here? Easy now, everyone. It's just a human. And he even points out that face. You're a Japanese person, aren't you? That's very important. Because Japan doesn't exist in this Lostbelt. How would he know about that? Mash? Why do you know that name? Oh, that's right. You must have heard my name from Sheffield. Yes, I'm Mash, Sheffield's knight. I'm told I'm the Child of Prophecy. That's right, Mash has lost her memory, and even seeing us hasn't sprung it back. So she's leaving for Spriggan's castle with his entourage. So now we gotta figure out how to jog Mash's memory. Also, Spriggan sends some attack dogs at us. Because, like I said, he's a dick. Alright, we fend off Spriggan's guards. But, Spriggan's personal guards are shooed off by the Norwich soldiers, the Queen's Army, saying that attacking citizens is against the law and yada yada. Basically, they're the actual law, and Spriggan's personal guards are more like the SS. And we're invited to go meet with Count Pepperon. Count Pepperon? And of course it was me! It's been quite some time, Gouda-chan! We have found our good friend Pepe. Hi, Pepe. So, Pepe's like, as expected, you came here looking for Mash, and she just happened to show up. This is where Count Pepperon is going to tell us a little bit more about the past and what's been going on here, how things are, yada yada. And talking with him, we see that he wants to ally with us. He's not particularly fond of the way that the Lord of Norwich has been running himself, because Spriggan is a dick. He exposes that Spriggan has sold off land at outrageous prices and actually wants the calamity to come to wipe out all the shops, and when all the fairies are either dead or have left, it means that the land will be up for grabs, and with the land back up for grabs, Spriggan can just grab it all up again and then sell it all over again if he wants to, or continue ruling over the town with an iron fist. So yes, Spriggan is here being the shittiest capitalist that ever did exist. Oh, sorry, all your homes and businesses destroyed by a hurricane? Well, I guess I own the land again, because everyone died. Ha ha ha. Oh, how good for me. That's Spriggan. Like I said, Spriggan's a dick. And now we're out here to get some exercise, fighting off against some pepperoncino golems. And he also wanted to test the combat strength of our group, that is Castoria, Muramasa, and Gareth. Obviously, we deal with them with no problem. Here we get the sad past of Count Pepperon. Basically, he was born into a magic family on a mountain that valued strength above all else. But he didn't see very eye to eye with his house people, and because of that, he decided that he would just kill all of them and move on with his life. That's where he learned all his techniques that allowed him to fight in previous Lostbelts so well. After all, he was an unparalleled genius in his clan that killed the entire clan itself. I guess you could call him the Itachi Uchiha of his clan. Hi, Oberon, what's up? Oh, okay. This is where Oberon is going to ask us if we're really sure that we definitely need to go meet Mash again. Are we really determined to do it? Yes, Oberon, shut up. We're going to go meet Mash. On top of that, he says Mash may never remember us again, because when someone loses their memory but gains a new identity, that identity completely overwrites the old one. Oberon says he just doesn't want us to get hurt. it might be best if we leave well enough alone and just let Mash go. Oberon's a little bit of a dick too, huh? All right. It is now a new day. And it looks like Norwich hasn't been destroyed yet. Hey, we're doing good. Good start to the day. I'm sure absolutely nothing is going to happen to make the day where... Oh, no, the destruction of Norwich has begun. So the calamity begins. Everything from the shore towards the middle of the city is slowly being overrun by more coming in from the ocean. The moss are coming in droves from the sea, rising up and turning every ferry that they can get their hands on into another moss. So not only is it already bad, it gets worse with every passing second. This is the calamity befalling Norwich. All right, it's time for us to head out. After all, we've got the Child of Prophecy with us. We need to stop them for 1 hour so that we can evacuate the citizens and prepare ourselves to put an end to it and exorcise the calamity. First part of the plan, hold them back for an hour so that all the ferries can get to safety. So we head out there and save as many ferries as we can from the moss. But the moss we just met were stronger than the ones that we've seen before. Bigger, hardier. And we're not able to save the northern part of the city, but Mash is up there protecting it all by herself. And she's doing a great job. She has the ability to protect the northern district all on her own. So everyone, let's get together and work hard to protect Norwich. Hey, it looks like we're doing a pretty good job. Problem is, we gotta hold off for... We've already held off a bunch of them, but we gotta hold off a lot longer. On top of that, Gouda's used up so much magical energy providing for the servants that we're starting to lose our vision and go blurry. Da Vinci pulls out an ampoule and tells us to take it immediately because we've used up too much magical energy. That's right, it's drug time, baby! Alright, so, we were able to hold off long enough and we can start leaving. But wait, that's not a moss. That's a ferry. But where are they running to? Why? Gareth, what are you talking about? So there's a death metal album cover coming in from the harbor. And Gareth loses the ability to even stand just looking at it. And Oberon's like, oh shit, there's no way we can defeat that thing. We gotta just abandon whatever ferries haven't gotten out of here and get out of here as fast as we can. That's the calamity? That thing? Ah, yes. Saying that she can hear the sound of the bells. Keep going. I want to run away. It's impossible. I'm scared. I don't want to do this. But... Even though I saw the same looks on her face, Gouda was with me. That's right. But, despite wanting to run away, there was still one more child of prophecy that refused to run away. Mash got left behind. There's no way she'll be able to stop it, but I guess it can't be helped. She's also a child of prophecy now. So yeah, basically Oberon saying it looks like this is going to be the end of her story. She's going to die here. I'm sorry about this, Gouda, but... And because we don't listen to shit, screw you, Oberon. I'm going Da Vinci. Later, guys. Kotoaru. Alright, we just gotta beat up that big thing, right? No problem. So what? One sec. Alright, now we will continue the girl's story for a bit. Yes. She evacuated the ferries, and afterwards something massive appeared. The cursed hand of Redacted appeared from the sea. As expected, she stumbled at first sight, but when she saw the ferry screaming in terror, she pulled herself up. She rushed toward the harbor at full speed and confronted the cursed hand at the end of the pier. She immediately knew that she wasn't going to be able to defend it all by herself. She wouldn't be able to prevent this collapse. But still... But she was able to mitigate the impact. Even if it would destroy the harbor, it could still be stopped so that the residential area would be saved. That possibility was just enough for her to deploy her shield when something unbelievable happened. Another person. The human that she had met at the plaza came running toward the harbor at full speed. She was filled with inexplicable joy and relief. For that reason alone, she couldn't help but raise her voice. "Get out of here! Don't come here! I can only hold it back for a few seconds!" Her desperate shouting didn't stop the human. Did he not hear her over the sound of the shield and the curse fighting each other? That couldn't be it. He ran past the pier as if saying, "As if I would ever lose," with a voice much larger than hers. He touched the back of her hand, as if supporting her, as if he was telling her that she wouldn't do this alone. She was glad she didn't worry about it too much and remembered the fact that she was a human being herself as well. Yes, it was because she was a human being she could feel the pain of an injury and know that scary things were scary. She could be afraid of things who had hurt others that believed in her. "I'm a child of prophecy. Just forget about me and run away." She tried to pretend to act tough in her last moments. She tried to be calm and composed. It was like a child telling a poor lie. "By my command seal, I order you." Eh? "I don't care if you're the child of prophecy or anything else." When the voice echoed behind her, her boiling blood rushed from her heart to her fingertips. "Show them how amazing you are, MASH!" And with that, the prophecy was toppled over. Einzel's precognition certainly did not see this scene unfolding. "Ah, that's right. I'll do just that, Master." The wall of chalk repels the cursed hand. The walls of Camelot were effective to hold this thing back. In order to prevent Norwich's collapse, she recognized this as her enemy before her eyes. She needed to stop this calamity. She would protect the fairy kingdom as a single impudent adversary. "Let's do this, MASH! We're gonna force this thing back!" That kind and beloved voice awakened her soul. The one standing there was not Einzel, was not some child of prophecy. It was the knight that inherited the Holy Shield, a servant of Chaldea. Yes. "Yes, Master. Please lend me your power. I'll do whatever it takes to exorcise this calamity. Because I am not the child of prophecy. But my heart is screaming at me to protect this town." The girl's name is MASH Kidielite. At long last, she has gained some selfishness. No matter where she went, she would be the child of prophecy they believed in. I'm sorry, I had to do the full translation for that scene because it's way too cool. That scene is great. No way. The calamity disappeared. We did it! We did it, Senpai! That's right, MASH, we did it. High five! And just like that, we were able to repel the calamity from destroying Norwich. Which means that Einzel's prophecy was wrong. In Einzel's prophecy, Oberon revealed that Norwich would be destroyed by the pulling calamity. But hey, we stopped it. Wait a second, what's that? Huh. Don't see that every day. Everyone, look out! Mash? Wow, it was like I got hit by a huge ball or something. Hey, Mash? Mash? Mash isn't here. Mash! Mash! And just like that, Mash is gone. So, this mysterious question mark person explains that what that was Morgan's water mirror. It was going to be used against the Calamity, but took too long to prepare and we dealt with it first. So the water mirror hit Mash instead, but it's teleportation magic, so Mash isn't dead, she's just somewhere else right now. And Habitrot introduces herself. She says she'll be with us until we can reunite with Mash. So, feel honored because a rival has appeared for you, Gouda. That's right, Habitrot's our rival. She wants Mash for herself. Alright. Norwich is now going to celebrate the Child of Prophecy saving them. Which means that we now have proof that Artoria is the Child of Prophecy. Which means, hey, we can finally go ring them bells, huh? But... Castoria decides not to ring the bell for now because we have a chance, we have been sent for a meeting with the Queen for dealing with the Calamity of Norwich. And ringing the bells is akin to basically saying we're here to take down the Queen and defeat her. And Caldia's not here to do that. We're here to negotiate terms and try and get our hands on Rongo Miniad. So ringing the bell isn't necessarily something we need to do. And Castor Artoria is also like, yeah, honestly, I don't know if I can do it, so this works. All right. We're now going to get escorted to go meet with Queen Morgan. And with that, that is Lostbelt 6.1 completed. That's 1/3 of the way done.